the name of distinguished Senator Izunaso'S Osita on the urgent need to carry out remedial work on Oboduku, Uruala, Akokwa, Umu Maisiaku, Umuchina, and Umueshi Gully erosion sites in Ideato North and Ideato South local government areas of Imo State. Mr. President, you may wish to invite distinguished Senator Izunaso'S Osita to move the motion. Thank you.
Thank you. Izunaso, you may wish to move your motion.
Thank you, Mr. President. My name is Senator Osita Izunaso. I represent the people of Imo West. Mr. President, the motion is on the urgent need to carry out remedial work on Oboduku, Uruala, Akokwa, Omomisiaku, Umuchima, and Umueshi Gully erosion sites in Ideato North and South local governments of Imo State. Mr. President, the Senate is invited to note that the total collapse of Oboduku, Uruala, Akokwa, Omomisiaku, Umuchima, Umueshi Gully erosion site in Ideato North and South local governments of Imo State, and that the gullies and flood waters have become treacherous, which recently led to the loss of human lives, properties worth over 4 billion, and inflicted several injuries on indigents of those communities. Mr. President, the Senate also notes that the economic impact of the continuous loss of lives, businesses, and properties of individuals, NGOs, and government agencies, as flood is burying them under debris day by day. Mr. President, the Senate also observe that the total number of affected communities are 12, and that the two local governments we are talking about here shares border with Anambra State, Enugu State, and Abia State, and those states are also equally affected. Concerned that these gullies and flood waters are now beyond the Imo State government, hence the need for federal government's presence and urgency to undertake immediate remedial actions to mitigate the risk and prevent further loss of lives, properties, and environmental degradation in the affected areas. And the Senate is aware that by taking immediate action and working together, we can protect lives, preserve our communities' well-being, and build a safer and more resilient future. Accordingly, resolve to urge the Ecological Fund Office and National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, to jointly and urgently engage relevant experts, including geologists, hydrologists, and environmental engineers, to conduct assessment and implement measures such as slow stabilization, gabion installations, terracing, revegetation, and construction of retaining walls to prevent further loss and minimize the risk to nearby infrastructure, communities, local governments, and states. 2, also urge NEMA to urgently implement a community resettlement plan where necessary to relocate residents from high-risk areas, providing them with adequate housing, livelihood support, and necessary amenities. Further urge NEMA and EFO to establish community-based initiatives to enhance resilience, such as emergency response team, evacuation plans, and the formation of local task forces focus on disaster management, outlining the achieved milestones, challenges encountered, and plan for future action every 4 weeks. And finally, commend the Imo State government on its quick response and intervention, which saved some lives and reclaimed many properties. I so move, Mr. President.
Urge the Ecological Fund Office and the National Emergency Management Agency to jointly and urgently engage relevant experts, including geologists, hydrogeologists, and environmental engineers, to conduct the assessment and implement measures such as slope stabilization, gabion installations, terracing, revegetation, and construction of retaining walls to prevent further losses and minimize the risks to nearby infrastructure, communities, local governments, and states. Those in favor of these prayers say aye. Aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Prayer 2. Also urge NEMA to urgently implement a community resettlement plan where necessary, to relocate residents from high-risk areas, providing them with adequate housing, livelihood, support, and necessary amenities. Those in favor of this prayer say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Prayer 3. Further, urge NEMA and EFO to establish community-based initiatives to enhance resilience, such as emergency response teams, evacuation plans, and the formation of local task forces focused on disaster management, outlining the achieved milestones, challenges encountered, and plans for further actions every 4 weeks. Those in favor of this prayer say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Commend the Imo State government in quick response to intervention, which saved some lives and reclaimed many properties. Those in favor of this prayer say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The Senate Leader.